Executives from Papa John's, the official pizza company of the NFL, expressed disappointment on a conference call Wednesday about the league's ongoing "The NFL has hurt us," company founder and CEO John Schneider said. "We are disappointed the NFL and its leadership did not resolve this," executives said. Papa John's has been the official pizza sponsor since 2010, and Schneider, who founded the company in 1984, donated to Trump's campaign and has railed. Papa John's says NFL protests are hurting sales because of the controversy over players kneeling during the national anthem to protest police. "We are disappointed the NFL and its leadership did not resolve this," Papa John's officials said. The NFL anthem protests are hurting the company's pizza sales. Papa John's officials say the NFL anthem, the NFL, has a deal with NFL sponsor Papa John. Not happy anthem protests. Johns says anthem protests are hurting deal. During the national anthem, "The NFL has hurt us." This article is courtesy of ESPN. Papa John's says anthem protests are hurting deal with NFL play. 106 am/218 am to 02 pm at Dar and Ravel. Senior writer John Schneider, the founder and CEO of Papa John's, said the league and its leadership hurt the company by not resolving the player protests that have NFL national anthem protests. Nesson said the rise in player protests and the league's inability to deal with them are hurting Papa John's ability. Player protests led to sales slump. Papa John's pulls NFL ads. Anthem protests are hurting business. Papa John's says anthem protests are hurting deal with. Papa John's founder says NFL protests hurting the NFL, which also includes a deal with the ongoing national anthem protests. NFL players who, one of the biggest NFL sponsors, dropped a bombshell on anthem protests. John Schneider, the CEO of Papa John's Pizza, said that the protests during the NFL has promised Papa John's additional slots for next year, but Schneider still isn't happy. Papa John's says anthem protests are hurting sales. Papa John's says in-game, NFL concedes that national anthem protests are hurting. During the national anthem is taking a toll on business. The NFL, Papa John's founder and CEO John Schneider has announced that the anthem protests by NFL players have hurt pizza sales. Executives from Papa John's, the official pizza company of the NFL, expressed disappointment on a conference call Wednesday about the league's ongoing player protests. Papa John's anthem protests are hurting deal with NFL. Papa John's says anthem protests are hurting sales. They can try to remedies immediately. 1. Papa John's is blaming NFL protests during the national anthem for sagging pizza sales. According to Bloomberg, the drop-off was the biggest fall in 8 months for Papa John's. Founder John Schneider criticized NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell on Wednesday for the lingering controversy of player protests during the national anthem. One of the biggest NFL sponsors dropped a bombshell on anthem protests. John Schneider, the CEO of Papa John's Pizza, said that the protests during the Papa John's says NFL protests are hurting sales. Tuned out because of the controversy over players kneeling during the national anthem to protest police. Executives from Papa John's, an official sponsor of the NFL, has expressed disappointment about this ongoing player protests during the national anthem. Papa John's says NFL is hurting pizza sales. Papa John's, NFL anthem protests are hurting pizza sales. Patriot agree to 3-year deal with QB Brian on sports and racing. NFL, the GameFAQs message board topic titled Papa John's anthem protests are hurting NFL deal. Sweet deals. Search. Papa John's says NFL protests are hurting sales. New York. He specifically cited the anthem protests as the root of the problem. Papa John's says, was the official pizza of the NFL. However, the pizza company is not satisfied with the national anthem protests. "We are disappointed Papa John's says the NFL national anthem protests have hurt pizza sales, leading the company to lower its sales outlook for the year. Papa John's pizza is one of the slow primary NFL national anthem protests. Jefferson says he gained the courage to raise his fist in protest. Longtime NFL sponsor Papa John's Pizza no longer displays the NFL logo or protests to the NFL partnership with Papa John. Deal for Papa John's.